Into the woods and through the trees to where I am expected, ma'am. Into the woods to grandmother's house.
Hello, welcome to National Tell a Fairy Tale Day. Today I will be reading the fairy tale of Little Red Riding Hood. Grab a seat, Grinch and Max. This is going to be a good one. Alright. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in the village near the forest. Whenever she went out, the little girl wore a red riding cloak. So everybody in the village called her
Little Red Riding Hood.
One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go visit her grandmother, as it had been a while since they seen each other.
Can I go to Grandma's house?
You know what, sweetie? That's a great idea. You can go on over.
So, they packed a nice little basket for Little Red Riding Hood to take to her grandmother's. When the basket was ready, the little girl put on her red coat and kissed her mother goodbye.
Remember, go straight to Grandma's house. Don't dawdle along the way, and please don't talk to strangers. The woods are dangerous.
Don't worry, Mommy. I'll be careful.
Little Red Riding Hood was off on her way to her grandmother's house. But when Little Red Riding Hood noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, she forgot her promise to her mother. She picked a few, watched the butterflies float about for a while, listened to the frogs croaking, and then picked a few more. Little Red Riding Hood was enjoying the warm summer day so much that she didn't even notice a dark shadow approaching out of the forest behind her. And suddenly...
Hey there, little girl.
Hi.
What you doing out here all alone in the middle of the woods?
I'm on my way to Grandma's house through the forest.
Then she realized how late she was and
I'm
quickly
late.
excused herself.
I gotta go. Peace out, Wolf.
Rushing down the path to Grandma's house, she ran as fast as she could. But the wolf, he took a shortcut. The wolf finally arrived at Grandma's house and lightly knocked on the door.
Oh, dear me. I thought you were in danger. Well, at least you're here now, so you're safe and sound.
The wolf did not hesitate to eat her. Poor Grammy did not even have another word left in her before the wolf gobbled her up. And then suddenly, the wolf let out a satisfying burp in Granny's hair and looked for a nightgown that he had liked that Granny had in her wardrobe. After a few minutes, Little Red Riding Hood had knocked on the door. The wolf jumped into bed and pulled the cover over his nose.
Who is it?
It's me, Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, well, dearie, why don't you just, come on in, you know?
Well, when Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she could scarcely recognize her grandmother.
Oh, Grandmother, your voice sounds so odd. Is something the matter?
Oh, dearie, it's okay. I just had a little bit of a cold.
But Grandma, what big ears you have.
Oh, well, honey, just better to hear you with.
But Grandma, what big eyes you have.
Oh, honey, it's just better to see you with.
But Grandma, what big teeth you have.
Oh, honey, those are just to gobble you up with.
Little Red Riding Hood realized that the person in the bed was not her grandmother, but a hungry wolf. A woodsman who was chopping logs nearby heard a cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. He grabbed the wolf and made him spit out the poor grandmother.
Oh, Grandma! I was so scared. I'll never, ever talk to strangers or dawdle in the forest ever again.
There, child. You've learned an important lesson. Thank goodness he shouted loud enough for this kind woodsman to hear you, or I would have been dead meat.
The wolf had been knocked out, and the woodsman decided to carry him deep into the forest, where he wouldn't bother anybody else ever again. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandma finally had a nice lunch and a long talk. The end.
And they lived happily ever after. The end. Happy National Tell a Fairy Tale Day.
Go